Hello, today is Wednesday, May 10th, 2017, and as of this recording, I'm still depressed, but I'm not dead. Hey everybody, good to see your ears hanging around today. I appreciate everyone taking the time out to give a listen to this little podcast of mine. Still don't know what to say. So this is the fourth time I've tried to start this, so I'm just going to keep going this time. So I got a couple little tidbits for y'all today. I am deep in the thralls of planning last minute items for the trip to Dallas. Got some errands to do and whatnot, so I'm trying to squeeze this in before the kids get home from school and start raising hell. So let me just remind you how you can get a hold of me. Jamoalki at gmail.com, facebook.com/jamoalki, Twitter at jamoalki, www.jamoalki.info. That's JAMOALKI. And you can always send me a text message at 248-648-1419. Yeah, that's all I got for that. So let's get to it. One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2. Yeah, so what's going on? So, weather's getting nicer. I'm trying to walk a little bit more. At some point, I need to get back on the weight loss wagon so that I can fall off of it again, inevitably to get back on. So anyway, I've been walking a bit more, up to get bagels, down to ship out some items for Nora. She's deep into this unique thing. I don't know. It's a makeup thing and blah, 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 and pyramid scheme to my mind, but she enjoys it. And so she sells something, I send it out for her, gets me some steps. So what you were listening to there is something that I never really acknowledged that I do. I've never explained to anybody that this is something that I do. And quite often when I am walking, I count steps between cracks. And that's kind of what you were listening to there. It's, the whole step on a crack, break your mother's back, right? That silly thing. I don't avoid cracks. But I will count them. And, here in Minnesota and lots of places, I'm sure, most of the sidewalks are cement slabs. So they're designed and formed with cracks in them. And of course, with weathering, they develop their own cracks through frost and thaw and heaves and things like that. So I'll be walking, and it's not something I do all the time. It's not... I want to talk it down. I want to say it's not a compulsion, in that I don't really think it's a compulsion because it doesn't occur to me all the time. And I'm not sure, given any, say, half-hour walk, I don't know that I do it every time I am on a walk. But I will count stairs too. Yeah, I will count stairs. I don't often remember how many stairs there are. I'll get to that in a minute. So it's not that I want to get a certain number of steps in between cracks. It's not that I want there to be an even number or odd number. It's just that I will in my head, I will count them off. And I know that when I start doing it, so let's say I'm walking from here to the post office. That's like a 45-minute walk. And there's, all kinds of different sidewalks and whatnot to get there. I may be halfway there and then realize, hey, that was 2 steps between those past 2 cracks. And then, 3, 2, 1. Oh, here's a long one. 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh. Okay, no, my foot is is this gonna count as the previous count or the further count? So am I 1, 2, 3 and then 1, 2, or am I 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3? It's sounding more strange the more I talk about it. But yeah, I will do this. And I know that when I start it, I do have a difficult time stopping it. And it's, if I'm walking with someone, I know that I do it as well. And it just kind of, if we're talking, I will continue with the conversation, say with Nora, but I just know I can feel it, hear it, know it, that I'm still ticking off the steps as I walk. Yeah, so I do that. I haven't really, this is the first time I've mentioned it anywhere, so congratulations to you all. I'm going to hand it over to Alex at our appointment tomorrow, because we're still in this, early on courting stage, right, where I'm doing more on my part to kind of explain myself and other quirks, other characteristics which I would not normally associate with my mental illness, my depression, and just like with the step things, I think of that as a quirk, but maybe it's not. I don't know. Yeah, so like I said, I do steps too. If I'm going down to the basement to do laundry, sometimes I will count the steps as I go. But ask me today, I couldn't tell you how many steps it is to the basement. On the cruise ship, there was, 11 decks to go up and down, and we made the decision that we really weren't going to ride the elevator. So there's plenty of times when I could count along the steps and see, how many steps between these floor and this floor. And I can tell you, the bottom 4 decks have more space in between them than the upper 7. Yeah, that's me. I'm the step counting, walking, cracking, missing fool. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. Maybe you do something similar to this. I'd really like to know about it and hear about it if you're willing to share it. Yeah, I guess that's, yeah. I mean, counting, I guess, just kind of going off script here now. I think, I worked a long time for Kmart in the receiving department where we were checking in items quite a lot. More towards the end of it, it was more just all automated with, a few audits here and there. But once upon a time, we had to check every single thing, open up the box, count them. When we would get our delivery trucks, we would get, truck would show up and all the pieces would be loose. So we'd get 1,100 cartons. And for a while, we'd have to count them all. And I think I kind of enjoyed that. I know that when I was breaking down things, I kind of enjoyed counting how many cartons I was going to get on a pallet here versus over there. And I found myself, this was back when, I had lots of little kids in my life, and I found that I would count as I would clean up toys at the house. Or, actually, I think like if I do dishes, when I do dishes by hand, I think I keep a running tally of how many salad plates, dinner plates, forks, spoons, tablespoons versus teaspoons, of course. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. I guess I think I've always discounted it because in the back of my mind, someone who had that compulsion to do so, or what are we, like Rain Man, right? Really good with numbers and, that's savants and different things. But in the back of my mind, people who did that retained that count, and I certainly do not. So, yeah, there's that. Yeah, sorry to drag you into that one after we've been building this relationship for a year or so now, guys. But yeah, seems I'm a counter, and I don't quite know why. It's not that I use that information for something. It just, I don't know. We'll see. I'll throw it at Alex tomorrow, and, maybe in 4 months we'll figure out why that's a thing. Speaking of Alex, like I said, I have an appointment tomorrow, and something that came up last session with him, we started talking about kind of a social anxiety when I was a child. And, when I read about it, when I look it up online, I think, no, that doesn't seem right. That the anxiety that I'm reading about here is more controlling, more like a bigger factor in the lives of the stories that I read, or the diagnosis that I read. Listening to Alex talk about it, though, it makes perfect sense. We talk about, really well, shy. I was called it a shy when I was a kid, but I didn't really talk to a lot of people. And when we give presentations in class, and that was nobody liked doing that. So I always thought, oh, well, this is just, as kids do. They don't want to get up in front of class and talk. And, I was talking to him about, if I'm giving a presentation in class, that I would really just totally zone out, and I would get through it. I would cover the information, I think, but when I was done, I couldn't recall any of that situation of being in front of the class. We talked about, I do remember in my earlier work career, staying up nights because I knew I had to give a talk the next morning. And it was never really that I was concerned about the information that I was going to deliver for that meeting or talk, or, different companies I've worked for have like a morning huddle, they would call it, where we, cap off what's important today, what happened yesterday. And, I would stay up and just have that churning feeling from stomach to middle chest, and picture myself standing in front of people, and then picture myself standing in front of people. Never picture myself talking in front of people or worrying about saying the right things in front of people, just that I would be in front of people. So, we started moving into discussing a little bit the possibility of, some social anxiety. And he even wondered out loud, because this isn't something that I feel now, really. I certainly still don't enjoy speaking to groups of people. I don't really enjoy being in groups of people, but I don't have that physical feeling of dread, of worry, of whatever. So we kind of wondered together if, maybe there was a significant amount of social anxiety as a kid growing up, which maybe led me into the dark road of depression. And maybe either I'm so far down that road right now that I don't feel that anxiety, or maybe I've gotten through that anxiety as it was, and now my depression is keeping me, I don't know. It's all really weird stuff, I suppose. Certainly nothing we're going to figure out in one session or on a half-hour podcast. But it was an interesting thought that, maybe there might be something to that. Being in a situation where I would withdraw from people and never feel comfortable sharing with people kind of led me down the road of being more withdrawn and, setting kind of all those neural pathways for this is who I am and this is the way I deal with things. And even if, whatever level of social anxiety I may or may not have had, if that ebbs away, I'm still left with those kind of neural constructs of this is how I act. And I guess I could see where that could lead to where I am today with the, major depressive disorder, But I don't know. Like I said, it was just a wonder out loud last session. So we'll see about that. I think I mentioned last show how much I'm enjoying going to see Alex now. And I still, like last week I really didn't want to go for whatever reason. And I ended up going because I had waited too long and I didn't want to cancel the day of and spend some of Nora's money on because I didn't go to a therapy session. But I left there feeling pretty good and feeling like something was accomplished. So, that's good. I do like going. And I mentioned also, I think in the last show that, I could see a potential problem coming up with this kind of line that we're following, in that we're kind of digging, we're kind of rooting around, which I feel mostly comfortable kind of doing with him. But I can see where he is kind of leading me with questions, or he's having more pointed questions. And I think tomorrow I'm going to talk to him about that and say, so like one of the things I was talking about was how I feel like I don't keep a working knowledge of new information, and especially have a very difficult time of regurgitating that information out. So, and this is true with anybody, even, as much as I adore and how easy it is for me to talk to Nora, if I'm trying to explain to her something that maybe I've read through only once, twice, 3 times, I can't formulate the words from the back of my head to the front of my face to get them out to her. I find this true on a lot of things. And one part of it that's kind of notable for me is that when I'm reading about something, and I use the flat earthers as my example, because I've been unusually interested in the flat earth people and their arguments and trying to figure out why they think the way they think. And, I'm in no danger of becoming a flat earther. For those of you who don't know what that's about, briefly, it's a group of people who think the earth is flat. I'll put a link to the Wikipedia entry on the show notes. But how, I would watch something or read something and then watch and read the rebuttal to it, and it makes perfect sense. Or just watch one of these kind of kooky theories from a flat earther and just know, okay, that's not true because of this, and this, because I know this. This is high school physics. But then, if I just watch the video, maybe say I watched it, sometimes I watch them 2 times because I'm just so riveted. Let's say I watched it, today, and then tomorrow at 5:30, Nora gets home at 6, and at 6 I want to explain to her this one point, and I can't. I can't find the words. I have it in my head. I know what it is, but I can't get that out. So I was talking to Alex about this, this kind of working information. And he said, "Oh, you know what? I guess I don't know much about flat Earth. Why don't you tell me about it?" And right then, in my head, I assume it's true, but so it was clear to me that was a question where he wanted to see if I faltered, how I faltered, and stuff like that. And, with that particular topic, I admittedly, I have been through so much of it and read through so much that I feel I can work with that enough to get points across. But I'm reading, if reading a book, just say any fiction, I really read a chapter and then tell you about it. I can't do that. And I clearly used to be able to do that. I used to, even in high school, in my younger days, high school physics was a breeze for me. Took it in, I could use it, I could manipulate it and spit it back out. My teacher was at one point going to be away at a conference or something, and she considered letting me lead the class because she just really liked how much I held on to that information and how I could convert it and spit it back out. So, it's a skill that I've had, but I clearly don't have one right now. Maybe I have it and I just don't have the confidence enough to do it. I don't know. But long story to the short, that kind of pointed question by Alex could end up being a sticking point for me, because I don't like, in my mind, it's like trying to be sly, trying to be coy about getting to information. And I would rather just have it straight out and let's talk about this. So I think I need to talk to him about, hey, if it comes up and I think you're doing this, can we agree that I can just say, okay, hey, are you really trying to just get this piece of information or what? Because I don't play along nice with others in those kind of situations. Yeah, so that's the therapy update for this week, I guess. Let's talk about the last couple days. Yesterday was a really odd, kind of rough day for me. I really didn't enjoy getting up in the morning. I felt like I didn't sleep well. I've had a lot of aches and pains lately for no real significant reason. I got up begrudgingly and went off to do the plasma thing to get that little bit more money to help enjoy time with my girls when I get to see them. But then I came home from that, and I got home 9:30 maybe 10, got into bed, and I stayed there sleeping most of the day till 5:30 when Nora, who had worked from home yesterday, decided that's enough. It's time for you to wake up. I wasn't very happy about that. And I just felt so out of sorts the rest of the day. Anytime I woke up during the afternoon or late morning, I just felt like, I don't know, the things that kind of similar to where I was a week ago, where I wasn't doing anything right. It's probably the same thing. I just am seeing it a different way, but it just felt like anything that I thought I knew needed to be done was stupid and a waste of time. And it was kind of a nagging feeling, right? Like, I got to get up. I got some errands I got to do. I got to make some phone calls for this trip to Dallas this weekend. I got to get some more information about, I don't even know now because so I've got a honey-do list. I've mentioned that before. And I knew there were things on there that I could be doing. But nagging in the back of my head was that was such a waste of time. I was such a waste of time. There's no value in wanting or even trying to do those things today. So I didn't do those. But at the same time, I felt a different kind of nagging that said, hey, you really got to be doing something. What the hell is wrong with you? You need to get up. You need to get some stuff done. And, after 20 minutes of those two voices battling back and forth, and, I would get more down about myself because I wasn't doing more. I wasn't listening to the one voice that said, hey, you got to get your ass in gear. And I guess those kind of wore me out, and that's why I slept like I did. And, today has been a little bit more of the same thing, not quite as strong. But yeah, it's a weird thing. I guess I don't have a good bow to put on that story. I don't know, sharing out loud, I guess. And one thing I did notice this morning is I got Nora off to work, took her down to the train. She was running a little late, so rather than take the time to walk, I dropped her off at the train, so she went into the city. Then I came back home, fed the dogs and all that kind of garbage. And then, my old standby fallback, okay, I'm going to go get some bagels and try to catch up on these last few bits of details for taking Mo to Dallas for a cheer thing. And I remember walking out the door and out the backyard through the gate, and I forget why I was thinking about the dogs. I don't remember what, but it was something along the lines of, hey, what if I'd clean something? I know. So we have this mat inside the back door for muddy shoes, things like that. And no matter what I do to it, the dogs play with it, they lay on it, they ball it up. The kids are home, so I'm going to stop just for a minute. And so this mat, and I've sprayed it with different things to keep them from mucking it up because, they get it all bound up and then the back door doesn't open because it sticks underneath the door, right? So this morning I sprayed the whole thing with, Lysol Air Refresh kind of stuff. And on the way out this morning, it struck me that, I wonder if that could possibly hurt the dogs or, make them seriously ill. But as soon as that thought was out of my head, out of my mouth, I realized I didn't care if at that moment, I'm not saying this is me all the time, but at that moment, I didn't care about the dogs. If they were okay, good. If they died, fine, whatever. And, I explored that because I want to kind of understand those moments. And really in that moment, there wasn't anything that mattered to me. Not a thing, not a place, not a person. I didn't matter. I didn't care about anything. If everything fell apart, I'd be just fine by that at that moment. And so, apologize for the noise. Kids are still running around. So I should probably finish this up. Yeah. So that's about all I got to explore, that kind of idea, that feeling. And I guess I kind of pushed it to the side. And next thing, before I knew it, I was ordering bagels and sitting down to surf the interwebs. And those feelings had passed. I didn't bring up that idea again to see, okay, has that changed at this point right now? Do I care? And I'm not really in a frame of mind right now where I want to dabble in that in front of you guys. Maybe next show, maybe next week. But like I said, I've got tons of things I got to get done. And so I'm going to go do that. And everybody, thank you so much for downloading, listening, taking time out of your day. Be sure to reach out to me if comments on what I've talked about. If you let me know if you do the counting thing. I need a friend in that, please. Yeah, let me know. Please share the show if you think someone else may get any amount of comfort from listening to my ramblings. If you get the show on iTunes, Google Play Music, whatever portal you use, please give me a good rating. Again, not to pat me on the back, but to make this show more reachable to people searching for mental health, mental illness, depression, things like that. So thanks everybody. Everybody be safe and be well. Hello. Today is Tuesday. Blah. Hey everybody. Good to see your ears today. I've no idea what I'm going to say because I don't know. Let me try again.